This is a testaroonie. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, I think I'm getting pretty close, you guys. Thanks for being here. Early, I guess. Jeez. Early to this unplanned, impromptu live stream. I was laying in bed, and normally I do a bunch of my recording stuff early. Early in the morning. I get up at like 3 or 4. But I just couldn't sleep tonight, man. I don't know. So, I decided I'll just get some work done tonight. I hope you let me know where you're listening from and kind of what you're doing while the stream is happening. While you're doing that, here's what's up. Here's the goal of the stream. I'm going to be recording part 4 of a story called Shadows in the Pines. This is a story, and it's really a limited series horror podcast. If you don't know what that is, like, limited series. Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, they'll put up a show for just like, a season, right? And then it's done. It's self-contained. It doesn't drag on for 7 or 9 seasons, and it doesn't keep going and going indefinitely until people stop watching. It's just, you just get, a bunch of episodes at once, and then you say goodbye to the story when it's over. It just resolves. That's what this is. It's a limited series. It's also a horror podcast, so the story is horror fiction, right? I love scary stories, true stories, creepypastas, no sleeps, all the good shit, man. But this is a work of fiction. And Shadows in the Pines is going to be 6 parts. So what that means is when I've finished recording all of the parts and I've got everything edited and I've got the music back from the music guy, he's doing so good, by the way. He goes by Inekt, I-N-E-K-T. He's already a well-established, solo artist, and he does the music for a bunch of other larger channels as well. But you guys, he sent me the music for parts 1 and parts 2 so far, and he's nailing it. It's not just like, a 9-minute ambient pad that you can just loop over and over again indefinitely. This is like a custom score, and it follows the story and it follows the plots, and I'm in love with it, dude. It's so cool. So that's what that's one of the many things that I'm very pumped for. Some other things include voice actors from like some of my favorite narrators on the internet. That list includes Amanda Jane from The Darkest Hour, Joel from Let's Read, Booze and Booze, a couple of other good homies, Horror on the Rocks, Gemini Reads, Danny Dreadful, Vidith22. A lot of these names I have not mentioned yet in their previous streams. I'm so jacked to be working with my friends, in this capacity. It's so freaking cool, dude. Also, there's posters. If you like the art on the screen right now, there's posters available in the description of this video. You can go buy them. I think they're 18 inches by 24 inches, so they're like that good size that it looks good on a wall. There's that, dude. Just trying to stay hydrated at this point. Just to catch everybody up to speed, this is, excuse me. This is part 4 of part 6, right? So if you've missed parts 1 through 3, or you haven't been along the journey of me recording parts 1 through 3, it's fine. I get it. It's totally cool. These streams go on for like an hour or more. So if you haven't seen every single minute of every stream, it's fine. I promise it's okay. We're still friends. But here's what's happened so far in the story so that looks like my time's up. Okay, nice. Yeah, we can start reading here in just a sec. Before I hit record on part 4, here's what's happened so far. We've got a group of young adults, right? They're in college. There's 4 of them. They go away to this cabin in the woods for a weekend getaway, nice little retreat. I think they just graduated was the story, or they're about to. They start being home invaded, right? These people start attacking them while they're in this cabin in the woods. It's very dangerous. Like I said, it's a horror fiction, right? So follow me. But as they're kind of getting away from these home invaders and these strangers that are attacking them, we notice that Maya, who's the main female lead here, she's very good at staying one step ahead of the attackers. And she's doing very, very good work in keeping her friends safe and being able to anticipate what these group of attackers is going to do next. We quickly find out that Maya is so good at this because she used to roll with the same group of home invaders. She knows them. Not all personally. It's kind of a large group, believe it or not. But that's why she's able to stay one step ahead. So now she has to admit that to her friends. Some of them don't like that. Some of them question her. They're like, hold on a second. We've only known this girl for like 8 months, I think. And how come we didn't know this, right? So that's one point of tension. Basically, just to kind of fast forward to the beginning of part 4. They escape out of the cabin in the woods through a a tunnel underneath the cabin. Nobody knew it was there, but Maya knew to look for something weird like that, and, well, she found it. Well, they escaped through the tunnel underneath the cabin. The whole time, the group of invaders are kind of like on their tail a little bit. They're regrouping, like the attack didn't go as planned. Nobody's dead yet. So they're like, okay, well, how do we regroup and follow these people down this tunnel without us getting hurt, right? Well, they end up getting out of the group. The core group end up getting out of the tunnel. Thanks, Greg. I'm excited for part 4 too, man. We're going to record it tonight. The main 4 make it out of the tunnel, and they end up kind of coming out of the mouth of a cave. And the biggest weird thing that they find is that the town that they kind of, export into is like deadly quiet. It's like too eerily quiet. So now they have to not only run from this group of home invaders that's like on their tail, but now they have to figure out what's going on in this town that they found themselves in, where, like, I don't even think the birds are alive. So we got this question of what's going on with this town. Is it cursed? Is it haunted? Is it whatever? What's going on? The story takes place in a town called Joppa, Indiana. And you can do with that what you want. Okay. I think I'm about ready to hit record. Is that like that? Hello? Okay, I think I'm ready. And we are recording part 4 now. Enjoy all of my mess ups. Please don't laugh too hard. Derek sat in the uncomfortable chair. Richard, sitting beside him, oh shit, I already fucked up. Immediately messed up. That's okay though. Derek sat in the uncomfortable chair. Richard, sitting beside him with far less poise. This wasn't the first time Derek had sat before dangerous foes on many occasions, but he suspected that these guys thought they were something special. Special or not, they were in the way of his slash, and soon they would learn the price of interference. The man sitting across from him looked straight out of an action movie. His head was shaved, his mustache was thick and brushy. Brushy? I don't like that. His head was shaved, his mustache was thick and bushy, and his eyes looked crazed like he'd had too much caffeine. He was wearing green digital print camo, but his patches were strange. Derek was pretty sure he knew what... Derek was pretty sure he knew who he had run up against, but one could never really be sure. So, you attack a member of this foundation. You interrupt our operations, and then you demand a meeting to... what, exactly? Do you imagine we'll just give you what you want? Derek scratched his chin dramatically. I could say the same for you. You've interrupted our slash. You have interrupted our slash. You've let our extras get away, and you've hampered with my ability to obtain the asset that I was after. In my eyes, you're as guilty as obstruction as I am. The man with the mustache rolled his eyes. Please, the Foundation doesn't have to answer to your organization. We're not some thrill-kill group like you are. We serve the greater good, and I won't let you get in the way of that. Richard shot Derek a look, clearly wanting him to stop poking this particular bear, but Derek was unimpressed with the man's bluster. Angel says hi. Bye. About to try to sleep. I know, man. Me too. We were laying in bed, dude. The whole family was just tucked in real nice and tight. And I was just laying there like I couldn't sleep. So I figured I'd get up and come get some stuff done. You know what I mean? Let's keep going. Nice to see you, Angel. I'm glad you popped in. Even if it's just to say hello. Thank you. Oh, you should be very afraid of our little organization. We may not have the numbers that your foundation does, but while you have a bomb, we have a surgical scalpel. We can slice with accuracy, and when we're done, there will be nothing left. Bushy Mustache smirked. It takes a lot to scare me, kid. I've been threatened by the best, and you ain't the... He stopped and looked down at the... He stopped and looked down as the phone on his desk began to ring. He gritted his teeth and looked down before lunging for it as he realized who was calling. Derek only got a momentary glance at it before he picked it up, but he was pretty good at noticing details. It looked like Mustache's boss was on the phone. Sir, yes. Yes, I have them. They were attempting to infiltrate. He stopped as the person on the phone said something too low for Derek to make out. What? Sir, you can't be serious. There's no way that you could... He listened again. He listened again, his eyes growing wider by the minute. Pictures? Pictures of what? His phone chirped again, and he looked down as his eyes got even wider. Whatever he was seeing, it clearly scared the shit out of him. There's no way. There is no way. He must be bluffing. There's no one who can... He stopped. He listened, and then he handed the phone to Derek. He wants to speak with whoever is leading the slash. Derek took the phone. This is him. Stand by, said a deep voice that sounded more than a little cowed. The phone clicked, and then a very familiar voice came oiling through the phone. You lost her, Derek. Derek had to make an effort to not have his teeth chatter through the phone. It was like an Arctic wind through the speakers, and he knew that somehow the director could see him. He could always see them, always knew where they were, and his knowledge of their activities was unrivaled. Derek had read 1984, and the director was like Big Brother on steroids. The feds had nothing on the old man, that was for sure. A momentary lapse, Director. I will find her. She hasn't escaped the slash yet. I'm not convinced, Derek. For my finest blade, you certainly have lost your edge. Perhaps it's time I set a new master blade. Derek growled deep in his throat. I said I would get her. The voice on the other end of the phone took an even colder tone. Mind how you speak to me, Derek, or I'll cut you open and watch you bleed. Derek swallowed his anger, but it was a bitter pill indeed. I apologize, Director. I believe she has gone into the cave. I'll find her and her friends. Don't you worry. He could almost hear the director grinding his teeth as he contemplated. Not good enough. You can come back with Maya, or not at all. Alive, as well. If you can't bring her back alive, then don't bother returning. I'm calling back the shadows as well, and Richard too. You will catch her by yourself. You will bring her back to the organization, and I will make an example of her for the entire cast to see. Derek breathed in. Derek breathed in through his nose, steadying himself. This slash had just become that much more difficult. Do you understand me, Derek? Understood. Script updated. I will not fail you, director. See that you don't. And the line went dead. One other bit of context and an extra little bit of lore for this story. You guys, you're hearing the words conduct a slash, kill the extras, the director, blah, blah, blah. This group of home invaders, they kind of speak in terms of like Hollywood movie lingo, you know what I mean? So, and if you got any questions about the story, throw them in the chat, man. It's all good. I know there might be some new folks popping into a part 4 stream that are like, what the fuck is going on here? Help me out. I'm doing my best, all right? But basically, like, this group of home invaders, they aren't just, like, willy-nilly murderers, right? The leader is called the director. The cast are the group of invaders for the night. So basically, the group of invaders show up to a house that they plan on killing everybody in, basically, but it's not just a house, it's the set. And the people that they are targeting and killing, those are the extras, and so on. So that's kind of, well, that is one of the biggest ways how, like, the leader of the group kind of desensitizes these lost, you know, or sometimes taken or sold young adults, these, like, kids, basically, that end up in the group. That's how he desensitizes them and basically gets them into the cult. So Kay says, me. Okay, yeah, if you, for sure, dude. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's all good. I got a lot of explaining to do, which I understand. You know, in a part 4 of 6, I know not everybody's swimming in here like, oh, I just hot off the heels of part 3. It's all good. So that's just a little bit of extra context and lore for what's going on and the kind of verbiage that you're listening to. And a lot of the people that are in the cast come from broken homes. You know, there was a fella earlier in the story where we kind of speculated that he was like, I don't know, probably 18 or 19, probably 200 pounds, like strong, like a brick house strong. And we kind of speculated that his parents were just too far behind on the mortgage and they ended up either taking their son, or he just ran away because he didn't like, you know, the stress and seeing his parents, you know, argue and be threatened by these strangers all the time. So he just split. I don't know. Not good people. Let's just put it that way. All right, I got some more reading to do, so let's do it. Okay, so that little bit was oh yeah. Also, by the way, the person that originally wrote this story with me and for me, they didn't know that, like, my name was Derek. So when you hear me read a story and one of the main characters is named Derek, that's just a coincidence. I promise I'm not, you know, an egomaniac or anything, and I did not insist on including my name in the story. Yeah, that's not how it goes. Hey, Misa's here. I've been waiting for this, but might sleep soon because it's midnight. Ouch. Yeah, dude, sorry, I just couldn't sleep tonight. Normally I'll get up, like, butt-ass early to take care of this, but I just could not. I was laying in bed and I just couldn't sleep, so here we are. Thanks for popping in. All right, now this is the part of the story where we kind of jump back to Lena and the gang. They've just escaped this group of, like, the smaller group of home invaders, and now they've exited out through this tunnel, this cave, and the town that they ended up in seems very weird. Sounds like the Strangers meets the Purge meets Scream. Oh, badass, dude! It most certainly is Strangers influenced. It's just to kind of lift the curtain a little bit more. It's even more so You're Next influenced, because I remember, and if you've been to most of the streams so far, you've heard this story before, but I'm gonna repeat it for the new people. So bear with me here. But I was watching You're Next, and if you don't know what that is, it's a home invasion movie. It's very good. It came out in like the mid 20-teens, I think. I don't know. I'm just gonna guess 2014, but I could be wrong. And very similarly to this story, the main girl was like suspiciously good at staying one step ahead of the attackers. And it's revealed kind of towards the end of the story in You're Next. Spoilers, by the way, for You're Next. But it's revealed that the reason why she's so good at, predicting what these people are going to do next and keeping her friends safe is because, drum roll, she used to be a Girl Scout. And, no disrespect to Girl Scouts. I love Samoas, but no, dude, that's not, I didn't like that. I thought that was bullshit. Forgive my French. And what I thought they were going to do was I thought they were going to reveal that she used to be a home invader. And that's why she's so good at, fucking off with these home invaders and keeping them at bay. I thought that would have been a way cooler, way bigger twist than she used to be a Girl Scout. Even if they were like, oh yeah, she used to be a prepper, or she is a prepper, and like her dad trained her, or her mom or whatever trained her how to use a gun and, fend off any potential predators, like that would have kind of been cooler too, I think. But the fact that in my head I was like, oh, this is going to be so cool. They're going to reveal that she used to be a home invader. Fuck, it's awesome. And then they didn't. I was kind of like, very disappointed. I was so bummed out, dude. And I kind of just waited around for that movie to be made. And to my knowledge, it never was. And that idea just, not a self-insert, that idea just never left me. And every 6 months I'd be like, I wonder if this is a thing yet. And it never was. So I kind of realized, well, you know what? If I want this story so bad, I'll just make it myself. So I commissioned this original writer that I don't want to, dog on, because he kind of got the bones of this story. But I quickly realized that I needed somebody else to kind of swoop in and just really turn this into a series of events where this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then give it life, give the story life, and give it meaning and depth, and turn it from a series of events to like a living organism that takes place over the course of 6 episodes. And luckily, Dr. Plague stepped in and he helped me finish writing it, fleshing everything out, and giving purpose to everything. Also, if you're familiar with Horror on the Rocks, not only is he another voice actor in this series, but you might also know his I Inherited a Mortuary series. Him and Dr. Plague co-write that together. So if that's ever come across your timeline, I've got one of the creative minds from that on this project, and for that I'm incredibly stoked. I think it had a former WWE wrestler. It might have. I don't know. It's been over 10 years since I've seen it, I think. Misa, Sam says, love the origin story of this story. Yeah, I know, dude. I'm such a dork for behind the scenes stuff. I will watch a movie and then if I'm still awake, I will immediately watch the director's cut or the commentary version, and just I almost enjoy that more than the actual story itself, because I just love hearing the people who made the thing talk about making the thing. That's so cool to me. So that's why I kind of gush about where this idea came from and who's helping me with it and blah, 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 blah. All right, I got more reading to do. Let's press on. At this part of the story, we're kind of jumping back to Maya and the gang. We got to figure out what's wrong with this town that they ended up in, and what's causing the quietness, right? Let's do it. It's so weird, Lena said as they walked out of the graveyard. It's so quiet here. Oh, thank God, Connor said, and Maya glanced over to see his knuckles white on the handle of the fire poker. I thought it was just me. Nah, Jack said. There's no sound here. I've been listening for birds, or bugs, or anything, but it's all gone. If we hadn't been talking, I would have been afraid that I'd gone deaf. Maya had realized it pretty quickly, but it went deeper than that. There were none of the usual people things either. She hadn't heard a car horn, or smelled exhaust, or felt the vibrations of a plane going over, or anything to let them know that anything existed here. The world is a place full of noise, full of life, and without it, the silence is nearly deafening for ears that are used to listening for it. You don't think there was some kind of disaster while we were underground, do you? Connor asked, looking around hesitantly. Don't see how, Jack said. For one, we were only underground for about an hour, and for two, if it had been any kind of bomb, then the tunnel would have definitely collapsed. Well then, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. They were walking up a paved road towards who knew what. The signs said Joppa. The signs said that Joppa was about 10 miles from there, but she wasn't sure that they wanted to walk that far. To a house, maybe? That would seem to be the best route. The organization probably wouldn't attack them. The organization probably wouldn't attack them if they were in a city. Probably. The organization had been known to do a high-risk slash, but then the scripts were written weeks in advance. They wouldn't have time for a rewrite on this occasion, and she knew it. They would have to improvise, and that would get dicey. The organization was little more than an urban legend, something whispered about at sleepovers and around campfires, but a high-risk slash like that could open them up to discovery, and the director certainly wouldn't want that. No. Their best chance was to get back to college so that... I'm dying. No. Their best chance would be to get back to college so that she could disappear. This experience made it pretty clear that the organization was not going to forgive and forget. Maya was going to have to live like a nomad, it seemed, always on the move and never stopping. It wouldn't be hard. She knew how to fake papers and could get money if she needed it. The grant that paid for her tuition and room dues was nothing that she had set up. Alright, cool. It's just reading, no big deal. The grant that paid for her tuition and room dues was something that she had set up a few years ago. It was money funneled from an account that she had set up in the organization. And most cutters had one. If you were truly in it for the thrill, then you were exactly what they were looking for. But most of them realized that the party would only last so long. So they stole from the people they killed, and they stored it away for the time when they would have to disappear. Maya had a lot set back, and if she was careful, it would last her a few more years at least. Maya shook those thoughts off. That was future thinking. Right now, she needed to think about getting back to a place where she could regroup. Whatever came next would come next. That could be better. Whatever came next would come next. Look, Lena said, pointing up the road. Maybe they have a phone we could use. Connor had remembered to scoop his cell phone up before they fled, but he seemed to be having trouble with reception. He said he had no bars, which was weird because he'd had at least 2 the whole way there. Hopefully, these people would have a landline or maybe some Wi-Fi so they could message someone to get them. Either way, they couldn't be here long. Maya didn't want more blood on her hands than she could handle, and losing her friends would be a step too far. Omar's here. What up, brother? Part 4, Shadows in the Pines. We're cooking, man. I'll come back to check on everyone here in a sec. The ranch-style house was dark, but it was evening, so I guess that wasn't too surprising. Fuck. The ranch-style house was dark, but it was evening, so that wasn't too surprising. They might just be an early-to-bed kind of family. Jack banged on the door, calling for help, but the house was quiet. No surprise there. Everything was quiet here. And as Jack banged on the door, Lena put her hands up to the window and looked in. That's weird. She breathed and Maya came closer. She squinted in and found a man sitting at the dining room table. He had a cup of something in front of him, and he was leaning back like he might be snoring or sleeping. He wasn't budging at all when Jack knocked on the door, but the longer she watched him, the more Maya realized that the man wasn't sleeping. He wasn't breathing, for one, and his arms hung limply at his sides for another. Connor. Hey! Omar's been a member for 20 freaking months, dude. That's amazing. That's crazy. Thank you, Omar. Big appreciate, man. I love it. Thank you. Alright. Connor, Maya said, and the boy jumped a little. Let me see your fire poker. Okay, he said, handing it over. But why do you... Maya rammed it into the corner of the door jamb. Why did I say of the door jamb? Why did I say it that way? Maya rammed it into the corner of the door jamb and the wood splintered. Jack jumped back, looking at her in confusion. I'm so confused. Jack jumped back, looking at her in confusion as she pried the front door open like it was no more than a stuck locker. Whoa, Maya, what the hell? This is not going to make a good first impression on whoever's in there. In my experience, dead people don't much care when you break into their house, Maya responded. The lights wouldn't work, but there was a fireplace and a box of wood. Lena had a fire going in short order, and Jack found a lantern in the living room. Maya went to check on the man at the table and confirmed him to be dead. She didn't know how long he had been dead for, but it couldn't have been for very long. There was no bloating, no rotting, and he looked like he had just died moments ago. He was wearing a... I'm a little dry. He was wearing a uniform, a custodial jumpsuit for a place called Joplin Aerospace, and it looked like he had just sat down to have a morning cup of... coffee before work. And it looked like he had just sat down to have a morning cup of coffee before work and just died. They used the lantern to search the house, calling out for others as they went, though they needn't have bothered. There was a woman in bed, but she was dead too. The 2 kids in the brightly painted rooms, also gone. All of them looked like they had just stopped. All of a sudden, and now they were nothing but giant dolls. Maya covered them in sheets, hoping that it wouldn't disturb any evidence. "What do you think?" Lena asked them when they came back into the living room. "A gas leak?" "Maybe for them," Jack said as he hooked a thumb at the back door. "But that dog in the backyard... But that dog in the backyard didn't die of a gas leak." They went to look at the russet-colored mutt, and Maya couldn't see any signs of a fight or starvation. He was healthy, his coat shiny, and his body showing lean muscle, and there seemed to be no reason for him to have died. He had simply laid down to sleep and never gotten back up, just like the people in the house. The longer she looked at the dog, the more certain she felt that something very strange had come to pass. "We have to get out of here," she said, too quiet for anyone but Jack to hear. "Really? In the middle of the night?" Connor asked. "Yes," Maya said, suddenly glancing around as if anything might fall on them at any minute. "We need to go immediately before whatever killed these people kills us." "I doubt whatever killed these people is still around. If it's a disease, it probably won't last after death. And if it was a gas leak, then we would have smelled it. And if someone killed them, then they have clearly moved on. We can at least rest until morning, can't we?" Maya didn't even wait until he was done talking. She was walking around the outside of the house and back toward the street, hoofing it up the road as she made her way to Joplin. She was no stranger to death. The two of them had been friends for years, but this was different. There was no blood, no wounds, and there was none of the usual bloating or discoloration either. This was no sort of death that she had ever seen, and that scared her more than anything. "Maya!" Jack called as she heard the sound of his feet approaching quickly. Connor and Lena were coming up too, breathing hard and looking worried. Maya kept walking. The three of them coming... What? The three of them coming... What the shit are those words? The three of them coming even with her... Okay, got it. Greg. Freaky. Confirmed. Maya kept walking, the three of them coming even with her as she went up the road. Maya didn't want to stop until they found more people. Living people. Finding them would prove that the people behind them had died of something unique, something special, and that it wasn't a fluke. "Where are we going?" Jack asked. You do know, don't you?" "Joplin," Maya said quickly. "We're going to Joplin." "Any particular reason why?" Connor asked. The pavement asked. Damn, that's a hard word for me to read. Asked. Why does that word have 3 syllables? Alright. "Any particular reason why?" Connor asked, the pavement gritting beneath their feet as they went along. She searched for something other than her need to look at living people. "I just think we need to get back to school. If we do, we can contact the authorities and let them know all about what happened." "You think they'll do anything?" Jack asked. Fuck, there it is again. "You think they'll really do anything?" Jack asked, sounding skeptical. "I doubt it, but they might. You never know." Maya doubted the cops would Maya doubted that the cops would table with the organization, and if they did, they would lose. The organization didn't take kindly to people sticking their noses where it didn't belong, and they The organization didn't take kindly to people sticking their noses where it didn't belong, and they lived to sort out interlopers. Most agencies would understand this and not bother, and Maya hoped that the police around campus would be one of them. She had quite enough blood on her hands already. "Look at that," Lena said, pointing beside the road. Oof, let me take a break just for a sec. Kay says, I never really realized how much work people like you and Rocky and Gemini put in while doing this for our entertainment. Makes me appreciate you guys even more. Yeah, dude, for sure. So you see the finished final product, which always looks, polished and glossy and just so easy peasy, man. And really it is. None of this is difficult. None of it's extremely hard to do. And me, I think I'm pretty, like, the system that I have built for me to record something and edit it and then get it up online is pretty dang efficient. It might take me, if I upload a 45-minute episode, it probably took me an hour and 15 minutes to record it and edit it. Except for lately, it's been taking me a few minutes more because I've been adding like super subtle sound effects, like text tones or somebody driving or something. But no, we make it look like it took us one try to read the 20-minute story or however long it is. But it most certainly did not. I'd say pretty smooth. Jerry. Calandria? I'll probably mispronounce that. Pretty smooth. Thanks, dude. Yeah, for sure. Oh, Omar said the poster reminds me of that video game Left 4 Dead. Yeah, it does. I love that game series, dude. In another world, I was I still am a recording studio engineer. And you know how some like producers have DJ tags, producer tags? DJ Khaled has fucking DJ Khaled in every one of his songs. Masarana beat. You know when a song is produced by like a person like that because they have a producer tag. They put it in all their songs. I had one too. But I was recording like deathcore, like metalcore, heavy shit. And my producer tag was basically like a modulated version of the witch from Left 4 Dead. The way she was crying, it's almost, if you ever played Left 4 Dead, then you know how the witch sounds when she cries. It's fucking scary as shit. It's terrifying. So what I would do is I would take that sample from the game and I would kind of modulate it a little bit, make it sound a little bit slower, add a bunch of reverb and stuff, and I would pretty much put that in. If I was doing an album for a band, I would put that in one song absolutely, maybe a couple different songs. And if I was doing just like a single for a band, if they just had one song they wanted to come in and do, you bet your ass, if they came to my studio, that sound goes in their song. I loved it. I would love to play it. It is. I don't know how to get sounds from my computer onto the stream. I'm gonna be super honest with you. I was born in the 1900s, you guys. So like, I'm not fucking good at routing stream stuff. So sorry. But imagine like a heavy breakdown, right? Just the guitars and the drums are just chugging. And in the background is this terrifying witch zombie just kind of crying. Derek Lower is so cool. Thanks. All right. I think the break is over. Play it on your next glitch upload? Alright, buddy. I will. Tomorrow's episode, I will. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good-ass idea. Tomorrow's episode is already scheduled, and I think you've already watched it, to be honest, because you commented on the early access. But I think the next one I can put it in is this Sunday, because that's my next episode that I haven't already recorded. I don't know if I'll play it during the intro. Where do you want it, dude? Let me know where you want it. Like, just as soon as story number 1 starts, I can play it. Ooh, or maybe between stories, I can play that sound as like an audio transition between story 1 and story 2. I don't know. I'll think of something. All right. Maya turned her head, but the geese were hard to miss. About 8 of them, all laying beside the road in a near-perfect V formation. It looked like they had just fallen out of the sky like that. And the strangest part was that nothing had been at them. These were large, healthy Canadian geese, and it was weird that nothing had been eating them. There were no bites, no damage, other than what they had sustained in the fall, and it made Maya quicken her pace. "What do you think happened?" Lena asked. "Maybe they got caught by a plane or something," Connor said. "Yeah, but they weren't all cut up or anything. It looked like they just fell out of the sky." "Something's off here," Connor said, glancing around as they went. "Those bodies we left behind weren't normal either. They looked sick, and they certainly didn't look like someone had killed them, so... Fuck, they didn't look sick? I don't think they did. I think that's the point. They didn't look sick, and they certainly didn't look like someone had killed them, so how the hell did they die?" "Maybe we'll get some answers when we get to Joplin," Jack said, the 4 of them heading Is that a word? Unerringly? Fuck, what is he trying to say? The 4 of them heading unerringly toward the town? I don't know, dude. Autocorrect says that's not a word, and it doesn't know what it's trying to be, so... Here's some Derek lore. Unerringly is a word now. Unerringly. Earingly? What the hell is he trying to say? I don't know. I'm going to stop worrying about it. Jack said, the 4 of them heading unerringly toward the town. If Maya had any ideas, she kept them to herself. So there, unerringly is a word now. I think the vibe is scared, but like still moving forward. Right? That makes sense. Because they have to get the hell out of there. They're being chased by home invaders. They think they escaped them, but they're not too far behind. And they've happened upon this town where literally every living thing is, well, not living anymore. 2 reasons to get the heck out of there. Derek, wait. Derek glanced over his shoulder as Richard came running up the road toward him. The shadows had departed at the... The shadows had departed at the director's order, but it appeared that Richard was little... fucking goddamn, dude. Hell yeah, brother. I'm still learning how to read. So sorry. Hold on. The shadows had departed at the... Yeah, get it. The shadows had departed at the director's order, but it appeared that Richard was a little slow to follow suit. The army guys had left, pulling up stakes and heading out, and as the helicopters had taken to the skies again, Derek had suddenly wished that he still had a couple of the shadows. It was going to be a lot of work to dig out the cave, and if he meant to finish before the lambs got away, he would need to hurry. They had the advantage of time on him, but he'd catch them. His life depended on it. "Shouldn't you be heading out?" Derek said. "The director made it pretty clear that I had to do this alone." "I was just going to ask you how you intended to get to them." "Through the tunnel, if I have to," Derek answered, pouring on more snark than was strictly necessary. "Well, luckily for you, I might have a better way." Derek turned around, giving the little techie his full attention. "Do it, Dick. Do tell." Richard furrowed his brow, clearly not liking the nickname. "The caves are beneath the cemetery, correct?" "One would assume," Derek said. "Well then, there may be a way into the caves through the cemetery. It's limestone, which is incredibly porous, so the idea of a way in through there isn't unfounded. I suppose that while I'm up there looking for the entrance, my prey will just sit there and wait for me to get inside, right?" "In all likelihood, yes. The cave has been sealed up by these lovely fellows. They won't have much of a choice, since you say their tunnel is collapsed, so I believe they will search for an exit that isn't there. If you get inside, you could very well have them trapped." Derek nodded, liking the sound of that. He could always go back to the cabin if that didn't work out. If they really were trapped, then he needn't be in a hurry. He could catch them at his leisure, and the thought of them tunneling back out was laughable. More likely they would just bring it down on themselves, and then they would still be dead. Either way, he'd have them in the end. "Thank you, Richard," he said, heading toward the cave instead. "If I ever become the director, I'll remember you fondly." Richard nodded, but secretly thought that that would be a dark day for the organization indeed. Oh, that's part 4. That's part 4, dudes. We did it. I just recorded. Me and you, we did it together. We just recorded part 4 of Shadows in the Pines. All right, so what's... part 5 is called... shit. It's not called shit. It's called A Stranger in a Strange Place. How many pages was 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, fuck. 11? Cool. 11 pages. Okay. Part 4 was 11 pages. That's good work. I wonder how many pages part 5 is. Everybody count along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, Jesus, 16. Oh my good gravy. Okay, there's 16 pages in part 5. I will not do that one tonight. Cool. That shit's badass, dude. Also, before we wrap, you guys, if any of us are... Oh, where are we going here? Christine? Christine's here? Oh, hell yeah, dude. Omar asks, has any of the previous uploads been uploaded yet? Or previous episodes been uploaded? No, sir. Not yet. I am going to not rush this. I'm going to take my time on this because it's not just me that's involved with the production. So I'm kind of counting on some other folks to jump in and really like understand the assignment before I just start throwing uploads up. Because what I don't want to happen is I could upload parts 1 and 2 right now. They're done. but I don't know when parts 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 are going to be done, right? So I pretty much want all 6 to be in their final state, and I want to pre-schedule all of them at the same time to go out on a weekly basis. Shadows in the Pines gets its own YouTube channel. It doesn't live on the Derek channel. It's not a Derek Weber playlist. It gets its own podcast directory as well. And yeah, for sure, I'm going to promote the hell out of it, right? Duh. I hope my friends that are voice acting in the show as well do the same thing. The people that I help producing it for me, I hope they promote it as well, right? Because we all want this thing to do good. But maybe it's just a me thing. I just want it to live on its own little island, its own little 6-episode Shadows in the Pines island. And then when the 6th one drops, the story's over. Like, there's no more. There's no 7, right? So no episodes have been uploaded yet. You guys are still very much in the production era of the show. Hopefully it goes up I can start scheduling episodes in like a month or 2. I really don't know yet, dude. One of your follow-up questions was, what's the link for the channel? It doesn't exist yet. Part of me doesn't even want to create the channel until I'm ready to upload episode 1. You know, there's a world where I create the Shadows in the Pines channel and then it just sits there for many weeks until finally there's some action on there. I don't know which would be better, to be honest. Having a channel just sit there dead for, you know, like I said, many weeks or more, or just like starting a channel, you know, on a Thursday and hitting upload on a Friday. You know, I don't know which is better, or if it even matters. Greg says, I'm telling all my friends about this story. Thanks so much, dude. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Like, I know nobody will like love the story or love I keep fucking hitting the microphone. Nobody will love the story as much as me. And nobody will know all of the context and the backstory and all the Easter eggs as much as I do, of course, because I'm the one making it, dude. Like, it's and I understand that, but it is super cool that somebody else in the world is like, hey, this thing is tight, right? That just feels good. Also, this isn't a story about SCPs, but if you're an SCP nerd, or you know how to look up SCP lore, I will just say out loud now that we are talking about a limestone cave in Indiana. And I'll just leave that Easter egg right there. Omar says, yeah, I think it might be better to open it when you have episodes ready. Might be better for the algorithm. Yeah, you're probably right, dude. You're probably freaking right. Christine says, I hope you're doing well, Derek. I am. Thank you so much for asking. I'm great. I'm doing good. I have exactly 0 complaints. You know? Not bad for an AI narrator. Angela's from Indiana. Heck yeah, boy. Heck yeah. That's cool. I've never been to Indiana, but lots of cool stuff happens there, I guess, right? Skeen. That's a cool last name. We might go into chill mode just for a second, you guys. Well, maybe for a couple minutes while I edit some stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to take... I will probably be done editing what I recorded tonight in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to let the stream go on for 10 more minutes, right? And I'm going to be available for questions, general chat, whatever you want to do, man. Let me see what I can find. Is this a... Yeah, we'll switch to this. Omar says, you got 3,700 followers pretty quick after your 10K. I did, dude. I did, yeah. What the hell, right? What fastest my channel has ever grown in a short period. Do I go live on Tuesdays? No, Christine, I don't have a live schedule. I was trying to record each one of these parts of the story once a week on a Sunday, but my Sundays just kept getting turned upside down, and then eventually I skipped 3 weeks, and no. Short answer is no. I just couldn't sleep tonight, so I decided to get a little bit of work done while I could. I usually do all of my recording at 3 or 4 in the morning. Mostly because of my family. You know, I got young kids upstairs that are just, when their eyes are open and they're awake, oh my god, it's just so loud all the time. There is no chance that I can be like, hey guys, be quiet for a few minutes so I can record something, please. That doesn't happen. So I get up early for a couple reasons. One, because it's just quiet, right? And then two, I don't, when they're awake, I want to be with them. I don't want to just sacrifice my playtime with the dudes while they're awake, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Kind of a win-win for me. I get a bunch of work done before they even wake up. Angela says, I've been recommending your channel everywhere. That's where all those 3,700 subscribers have come from in the last month and a half. Thank you. Oh my god, you're the best. You're so cool. Thanks, Angela. About 5 or 6 weeks ago, I switched from a once-a-week upload to a twice-a-week upload schedule, and that seems to be doing well. I dug your video about horror villains walking. Yeah, I always thought about that too. My friends and I always thought about how to defeat the It Follows antagonist. Yeah. So what Omar's talking about is I have another channel. It's called Bats for Brains, and that's just me writing love letters to everything that I love about horror, from the time when I was a kid to yesterday. I'm still trying to figure out what that channel is, to be honest, because I've found ways to talk about Are You Afraid of the Dark? I just created a couple of excuses to talk about creepypastas on that channel. The Backrooms. I asked the question, are vampires cryptids? You know what's funny? In that Are Vampires Cryptids video, I went hard on the research because I wanted it to be in depth, and I want to present myself in a way that, cares about the shit he's talking about. Because I don't want to make surface level stuff, you know what I mean? I would like to go in depth because I don't like watching surface level stuff. I like watching, thoughtful, well planned out stuff. That's what I'm into. So of course I want to make that too. But somebody left a comment on that video where I just went ham on the Are Vampires Cryptids, hypothesis. And somebody commented under the video, they're like, you know what, dude, you're scaring me with how much work you put into this silly little theory, right? And they said they feared for me because I do come off a little bit tinfoil hat in the video. And part of that is because it's a bit of I thought it was an inside joke. I thought it was kind of a wink wink gag situation where it's like I'm taking this very silly subject very seriously. Get it? Right? You see what I'm doing here? Are vampires cryptids? I don't know. Let me dissect this for 12 minutes and break it all the way down in as many different ways as possible. Get it? Don't you think that's funny? I don't know. But because I didn't make that incredibly obvious that I was kind of like joking about it, somebody commented, I cannot imagine the hostility is not the right word, but the fervorance that you would use to go this tinfoil hat on things that are actually happening in the real world, that actually matter. I'm scared for how you're going to end up. Therefore, I'm going to click unsubscribe because I don't want to see where you end up. And that comment alone was just so eye-opening because it made me look at my own content in that, and I'm still like, yeah, I've been like reading scary stories and glitch stories for the last 4 years or whatever, but I've only been making those like on camera video essay type videos for like, I don't know, dude, 6 months. So I'm still learning how to make them, the best ways to make them and what to include and what not to include. And what I learned from that comment was I better let everybody know when I'm joking because they're going to take me serious if I don't explicitly say this is for fun. But again, in their defense, I looked like a crazy person because I was doing so much research and I had so many like references and case studies that proved my thesis of yes, vampires are in fact cryptids. Here's why, right? So, I scared that person. Sorry to whoever that was. Yeah, I got some backlash. Bats for brains. I don't ever like to... You know what? Shit, dude. For other people that think I'm AI, I could just tell them I have a face channel. But no, I don't. I don't want... They are cryptids, absolutely, yeah. I don't want to use the Derek channel to promote the Bats for Brains channel because that audience is not the same. And what I don't want to happen is a bunch of people from the Derek channel jump over to the Bats channel. They hit the subscribe button because, oh, cool, it's his voice. Ah, it's the same guy. But they don't actually enjoy the content. So when YouTube shows the Bats videos to that audience, to that person that clicks subscribe because they like my voice or whatever, and they don't watch, that's actually detrimental. So, I think that's the reason why I don't use one channel to really promote the other. But you guys are in here with me. You guys are cool. You get it. Sam says, I love the chaos, but yeah, you probably need some type of disclaimer somewhere. Yep. Yeah, I learned that lesson. And another one of my buddies, he mentioned this, so I can call him out by name. Gemini Reads. He is starting another channel as well, where he kind of deep dives into conspiracy theories, things where, you know the JFK files, Area 51, fucking flat Earth, our birds aren't real, all that stuff. And he's kind of looking at it as like a fun, opinionated take on things that are clearly, inside jokes to a lot of people, or, like the wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of a things. And I had to like let him know what happened to me, because if he's going to make very serious videos about things like that, he's going to attract all sorts of weirdos out of the woodworks, dude. They're just going to find his shit and they are going to comment bomb him with the most useless, one-sided, legitimately tinfoil hat takes that the world has ever seen, dude. And I just want him to be prepared for that. Christine says, I would rather listen to cryptic stories than real news. Amen, sister. Maybe you guys can help with my next Bats video. I know a couple of you in here know that channel exists and you like it. I think the next video is going to be something along the lines of how much longer does true crime have? Right? Because I feel like we reached the peak a couple of years ago. And I'm noticing a lot of, I don't like using the term AI slop because it's reductive. But in some cases, that's genuinely what the content is. It's just AI slop. But I really just don't like, that's such a blanket statement that people like to just throw on things that don't really deserve it. But anyway, I've been seeing a lot of, AI slop true crime channels where the stories are just fictitious. They're just made up. I came across this one video that kind of highlighted a couple of channels that were just pretty much content farms, and they were just generating fake true crime cases just to have something to publish for that week or for that upload day or whatever. And something that happened from that was one of those fictitious, and of course, nowhere in the description does it say that it's fake or that it's AI generated or that it's whatever. There is zero disclaimer, disclosing that. So one of those fake stories happened in a town in Colorado. And I don't know if somebody reached out to like somebody on the police force or one of the news stations that were like, hey, why didn't you guys cover this? How come there was no articles about this? What the fuck, right? Well, after some research, whoever they talked to, and I don't remember if it was a news person or a police person, but they did some research and they're like, that actually never happened. There is zero cases about that happening. And then that kind of broke open the AI slop doors, and then people are like, wait a second, this is some fake ass shit. And yeah, Omar brings up a good point too. People are committing true crime because they want to be covered, because they're like addicted to listening to true crime shit, and it's just cool. You guys know that I read Glitch in the Matrix stories. Like, imagine, somebody probably not just completely fabricating a glitch in the Matrix, but sending me a story because they know I exist and they want, like, not their 50 minutes of fame or whatever. It's very far from that, but they just like the idea of somebody on the internet covering something that came from them, that's something that they get to show their friends or their family, or if they experience that glitch in the Matrix with somebody, they get to share that and go, hey, remember when this happened to us? Well, it's on this YouTube channel, right? That's like mini version. I think that's harmless. It's totally fine. But if you take that and you shift it all the way to the other end of the scale and you get somebody committing actual atrocities because they want to end up on Mr. Ballin or Crime Junkie or whatever. Oh my God, dude, that's just, no thank you. No thank you. All right, chill mode is officially here. Nope territory. Omar brings up another. I have such a bad habit of starting new channels. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. I legitimately tried just to relax. Like anytime I take a vacation from work, or if I'm ahead of like the upload schedule and I have a few days or a week to chill, not wake up at 3 a.m. to like record stuff, right? I intend to relax, and I went through this very short phase where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit on my couch and just watch something or play something or whatever, I couldn't do it, man. I just couldn't do it. And I think in that moment, and I did some journaling as well. Not a journal guy, but I do it once every 5 or 6 years, and I benefit from it every time, so I should do it more. But I learned about myself that just making things is my form of relaxation. Like, I cannot sit by myself and watch something, I mean, I could if I'm tired or if it's bedtime and I know I'm going to pass out in 30 minutes, I can do that. But if I just have the day off or the week off and, the family is somewhere else that I'm not for a little bit, My preferred method of relaxation is starting YouTube channels. Oh, it's the fucking worst, dude. I cannot stand it, but that's what I do for fun. So I started, I know that when I upload true scary stories on the Derek channel, they don't do well. They flop every time. I conducted a bunch of experiments and a bunch of tests and stuff, and when, if I slip a scary story video in my channel, it bombs, dude. So I said, okay, fine. I still like doing scary stories, but the audience over here, they don't like that shit. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'll make another channel. I won't call it a second channel because it's not one. I'll make an additional channel for those true scary stories to go on to. And that was called Nope Territory. It still exists. So no, to answer your question, Omar, no, I don't intend on promoting that. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to it, to be honest. I have a lot of stuff on my plate. Not only am I doing 2 uploads a week now for Derek, but I'm also doing the Shadows in the Pines series, right? But like we discussed earlier, that doesn't last forever. That will come to an end one day, soon. And then after that, I have an audiobook that I'm scheduled for. And this is actually one that I'm pretty cool. I did book 1 in this series. It's called Dark Junction. And you can find it on Spotify or, I don't know, some other audiobook website that I'm forgetting the name of. It's on Spotify, though, and I think it's free on Spotify. Maybe there's ads if you don't have Spotify Premium or something. But anyway, I narrated the first book in this series. It's called Dark Junction. The author is Sarah J. Herbison. She's amazing. Such a good writer, such a cool person. This was a couple of years ago. She just hit me up a couple months ago saying, hey, book number 2 is almost done. Are you in? To which I reply, yeah, of course I'm in. I don't even ask. Just send me the book. I'll get it back to you. So, Audible? I think so. Yeah, probably. She's really good at getting that thing out into the public. It won. I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but it did win a couple of awards in like the audiobook voiceover world. I don't know what the hell it's called, dude. I think that's not a world that I'm in. I've done one audiobook. And it was that one. But it so I guess it's an award-winning book, and I don't know if the award was for her writing or my narrating, or if it was like a joint situation. I really don't know, dude. But a bunch of people voted, and it won, and whatever. Anyways, book 2 is coming out. It's already out. It's available for reading. But the audiobook for book 2 that I'm doing, that'll come after Shadows in the Pines is out. So all that to say, I'm just not leaving time for Nope Territory right now. So that channel may die. I don't know. We'll see. Christine says, I thought the news of the Pope passing away was fake. Yeah, no, I guess that was real. Sucks, right? And your lo-fi was also pretty niche. I think that was too niche, dude. I think it was too niche. Omar says, it's the reason that I followed back in the day. Yeah. Greg found Dark Junction. It's called Dark Junction. Dark Junction. It's good shit. And then book 2, that's already out in reading form, in book form, is called Dark Paths. And I can start recording the audiobook for Dark Paths again, hopefully in the next month or whatever. Yeah, the lo-fi stuff was too niche, dude. I remember I was telling a bunch of my friends about the idea, and after I produced a couple of videos and was like, hey, so I took this idea from my head and now it exists on the internet. Listen to a couple of these and tell me what you think. And everyone that I showed it to was like, oh wow, this is so different. This is so cool. I love it. But it just never, took off. I don't know. You've heard me tell that story before. Sam says, can I still find your lo-fi? I think so. If you go like all the way back in my YouTube catalog on this Derek Weber channel, let me see if it's still, if it's there. Hold on. I think so. I'm looking. I gotta scroll all. Oh, dude, I have over 200 videos? That's silly. Okay. Yeah. I think if you scroll back all the way to the very freaking butt beginning, you'll find a story called I'm a Hitman, but I'm not allowed to kill my next target. And then a story called I'm babysitting black-eyed kids. And then the third one I think you'll see is the wildest true creepy encounter I've ever read. And it's called, the thumbnail says Stalker Stories Lo-Fi. It's red. The video is called The Wildest True Creepy Encounter I've Ever Read. I think there's 2 stories in that video, 2 or 3. But I think the first one is like my favorite scary story I've ever read. It's so funny, dude. It's terrifying. It's legitimately horrifying. But it's so. But somebody pees on somebody else. Total accidents. Total just. What a small coincidental world we live in, dude. But shit's so funny. So yeah, you can still find lo-fi stuff way back in my first several videos. And there's even a Vaporwave channel too, or video too that I did. So yeah, short answer is yes. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to go radio silent just for a minute. So I haven't edited a single thing that I've recorded. I've just been hanging out with you guys. so it'd be cool. I can still see the chat though. If somebody wants to ask something or say something, I'll respond. But I'm gonna chill for a sec so I can edit a little bit. I wonder if I can add my Oh, that doesn't work. I'm trying to find a way to bring my my computer screen onto the screen here. Good night, Angela. Thanks for hanging out. Is that it? Nope. Nope. I don't know if that's it or not, dude. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. Whatever. All right. Welcome, Jerry. Of course, dude. Pictures of what? Well, you know what? That's not even me anyway. Okay. Also, while I'm thinking about it, so when I'm recording these live sessions like this, I am recording everybody's lines, all the characters' lines that already have voice actors for, right? That's kind of so that you can kind of follow along, and that's so that you're not missing like context or whatever. But also just so I can kind of get like a timing down. I have everybody's lines already. Who was this? Horror on the Rocks, Amanda Jane from The Darkest Hour, Raven from As the Raven Dreams, Danny Dreadful, Dr. Plague, Joel from Let's Read, Vidith 22, Booze and Booze. All those guys are in the show. Like, they're all in the story, right? So I have all their lines already. Their part is done. But when I go in there and I edit some things, obviously I'll just delete my lines, and then I'll replace those lines with the appropriate voice actor who actually recorded them. So, in a way, by the time the finished product gets out and is available to you, it's, even though you've listened to me fucking ramble and record the story from start to finish, it'll still kind of feel like a new experience, right? Because you get all these different voices in there. That's all. All the goats. Yeah. Every single person that I asked to be a part of this said yes, which is wild because, like, for example, the character of Maya, the main female character, she has a boatload of lines, so many lines. And in part 3, is it part 3? Yeah, in part 3, she's got this incredibly heavy and dense and like really lengthy monologue where she kind of just fucking tells everybody, hey, this is why these home invaders know who I am. This is the life that I grew up in. This is what happened to me and my parents. This is why I'm so good at fighting these people, because I was the best of the best 5 years ago when I was in the group. And it was just so cool. Not a single person was like, I don't know. Can you tell me more about it? Maybe I can make time. Can you send me the lines and I'll look? Nobody was like that. Everyone was immediately, yes, I will do this with you. And that's so cool. I'm editing still, so this awkward silence is just me editing. That's all. Sam says, did Joel recently record his part? He said he was recording something a few days ago. No, I got Joel's lines the middle of March, so about 5 weeks ago. So whatever he was recording a couple of days ago, not for me. That's something else. I know he really wants to get into like voice acting and character work, and he's good. He's really good. Joel is more than just Let's Read, right? But I don't know, dude. And I know for a fact that he's like submitted dozens, probably hundreds of auditions to different gig work productions. And some of those people know that he exists. And some of those people know that he's got a channel with 1 million subscribers that could probably use some, promotion, right? Imagine having somebody with a YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers do voice work for your project. on the surface, that's like a fuck yeah, why wouldn't I do that? But I don't know what it, maybe that's too many people. Maybe that's scary for some people. I don't know, dude. But when him and I were kind of tag teaming, I don't know, I don't want to disclose too much, but him and I were working together on in that world of things. It just seems like, what the fuck is everybody afraid of? You know, like he's good. But I don't know. Nothing ever clicked. All right, good night, Omar. Always nice to see you, buddy. Thank you so much for hanging out, dude. The party really does start when you walk in. My voice is gone. So I'm going to try not to sound like Batman for the rest of the time. One of my favorite lines of part 4 is people things. When they realized that the town they ended up in didn't have any noise like people things, like car exhausts or planes or any noise at all. I thought that was funny. Dr. Plague called it people things. Dex here too? Hell yeah, buddy. Late to the party. This is the cool down session. This is chill mode. I've just finished recording. Well, I didn't just finish recording part 4 of Shadows in the Pines. I did like 20 minutes ago. But I've just been BSing with chat, and I am now editing the recording. I've got probably 5 minutes left of that to do. And then I think I'm going to call it, homies. But like always, I'm in the chat still. I have it open. So if you just want to vibe to the ambience, you certainly can. But if you have any questions or want to tell me something, I can see and I will respond. But otherwise, I'm just quietly working away for the next maybe 5 minutes. Who did... oh, what's up? Sam says, is Dr. Plague hinting at the fact he's not human? Maybe. That's... people things. You know, things that people do, right? I don't know. Who did the artwork for this story? Somebody that I found on Fiverr. He's awesome. And not AI. Hopefully that goes without saying. Let me see if I can find him. Jandon Banyu. Jandon Banyu. Jandon. That's Jandon. And then Banyu is Banyu. Found that fella on Fiverr.com. He did such good work, dude. It took him a couple extra days because I guess his iPad broke or whatever the fuck. But yeah, dude, so cool. And I told him what I want. I was like, this is the vibe that I want, and this is how big I'm going to have the poster and whatever else. And he was like, oh, cool. Like, he understood the assignment. It's so cool. One little, I don't know, maybe it's not an Easter egg. Maybe it's something else. Like, I don't know. That's not like a flub either. I tried to give him as much information as possible. I was like, here are the characters. These are their names. These are the weapons that are used in the story, and it takes place in a cabin and blah, 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 blah. And then what he ended up basically giving every character the wrong weapon. And he didn't know that, of course, because I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him that Lena has the cheese knife, and I think Connor has the fire poker. I didn't tell him who had what weapon. I just said, these are the characters, these are the weapons, and he just kind of assigned everybody, somebody else's weapon. And I think that's funny. I wasn't... the art was kind of expensive, to be honest with you, and I wasn't gonna ask for any revisions, and I didn't want it to take even longer because it took him kind of a long time to do this anyway. But it's all good, right? The story doesn't even, episode 1 doesn't drop until next month or maybe the month after anyway, so no rush. But I just think to me, that's a little just goof for me. I don't think anybody that didn't hear me just say those words would ever know. Even if there's a random person who stumbles upon the story a year from now that's like, hey, wait a minute. Why is Lena holding the fire poker when she's the one that's supposed to be holding the cheese knife? Nobody's gonna know. It's all good. Dex says, how's the project going? Good. Oh my god, dude, the guy who's doing the music, Enect, he's the same dude that does the music for Let's Read. Oh, he's fucking nailing it, dude. He's killing this assignment. Oh my god, it's so good. I was telling people early on in this stream that it's not just, this 5-minute ambient pad that's just easy to put on a loop for an hour. It's not that. That's cool in its own right, but Jesus, this is a dynamic original score. He's composing beats to elements of the story, and I'm trying to make it easy for him because I'll listen to the final dialogue audio, and I'll be like, okay, cool, at 2 minutes and 14 seconds we get some hand-to-hand combat, and it lasts until 5 minutes, and then at 5 minutes and 15 seconds the action settles and we go into this information gathering phase, and then at 10 minutes, in that, basically, I'm giving him timestamps and cues when to rise and fall the score. But dude, and hopefully that's making his life a little bit easier. But listening, he sent me part 2 the other day, and listening to part 2 with the music, it just breathes so much life into it. First of all, having me be the narrator, for me, that's old fucking news. I read this shit a month and a half ago. I know what I sound like. I know what my voice sounds like. I know the story. But having my friends' voices in the story as well, because you guys haven't heard that yet. Having, other bomb-ass narrators be in the story and give life to these characters, that's dope as fuck. Having the music from Enect, take you on this journey of action and then falling and then scene changes and then this. Oh, it's like I've never heard the story before. It's like I'm listening to it for the first time. It is going to be what you guys get to hear, hopefully in a month and a half or something, when I finally get off my ass and finish recording. That's all. Okay, I'm gushing. Jerry says, love the intruders huge in the background with the trees. Yep, those are the shadows in the pines, my man. That's them. Sam says, Joel's awesome. There's always people in his lives encouraging him to get into voice acting or record an audiobook. I don't think he'll do an audiobook, dude. I doubt it. That's a shitload of work, dude. Oh my God, it never ends. And to be honest, unless you're like a professional, widely renowned voiceover audiobook person doing the audiobook for a very established production company, the money's not awesome. Like, I mean, I don't feel bad saying that, but I don't think it's a stretch to say that 60% of the time, maybe 69% of the time, nice, you cannot live off of doing audiobooks only because the projects take so long and the money is not, it's hard. And it's getting harder now because AI is getting so much better, right? So I really don't think that he will or should do audiobooks. Good night, Kay. But yeah, he's been wanting to audition for voice acting stuff and character stuff for years now. Okay, back into editing mode until somebody gets me started on something else. Dex says, I've made it a mission to compose for my stories occasionally. Usually, I can curate a decent collection of story-matching songs from Somnium, Mew, Facilian, but to make it myself would be fun. Yeah, hell yeah, it is fun, but it takes a long time. And you know what, in my head, I kind of thought, like, if I were to do the original score myself for Shadows in the Pines, I would really just kind of have, like, a bass ambience, just like a bass layer, like a sound that just is the sound of Shadows in the Pines. It's like a synth tone that just kind of drags, and it does a lot of reverb, so you don't really know when it ends or it begins. I would have that. I would have just like some rhythmic drums, you know, like a dun 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 dun, something like that, with like some more reverb on there a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then I would have like a third track where it was maybe like a it would probably like a rising stinger, you know, like when you get to the end of a trailer and it goes like how the fuck does it go, like, you know, it does that stutter ramp up, and then it hits you with a bass drop at the end. It goes. Those would be my three sounds, and I would just keep basically the bass layer going all the time. And when like the action scenes start, I would just kind of automate the volume of the drums up to signify action, and then automate them to come back down when the action was done. And then like when somebody revealed something crazy, then I would do the like I would do the stinger, and I would just that's all it would be for all 6 parts. Thank God that I'm not doing the music for this, because again, dude, I cannot gush hard enough about the music that Enect is making. It's I haven't heard the same sound twice. I've listened. He's finished part 1 and part 2. By the way, every part is like 20-ish minutes long, but part 1 is 33. It's a big one, and that's because it includes like the prologue, I think, or I forget what it's called. So anyways, I've listened to over 50 minutes of audio from him so far, and I haven't heard the same sound twice. This dude is just killing it. I'm so impressed. Don't forget to take your classes back to the bar. What does that mean? Enlighten me, Major. What are we going on about there? I would like to, assuming the Shadows in the Pines series does well, and to be honest, I don't even know what does well means. Fuck if I know, dude. But if I enjoy it, and, whatever vague definition of does well means, if it does well, I'd like to kind of have that be like a regular thing. If I could make one a year, or maybe even 2, like 1 a year would be better, so I could like chill between series. But if I could make 1 limited series podcast a year, like Shadows in the Pines, I think that'd be dope. Because I got some other ideas for stories. I want to do like a cosmic horror thing next. I got some ideas for that already, and some people that I have in mind to help me out. But I just, I just want to get through this. Oh, buddy, does that sound bad? But I just want to get to the other side of Shadows in the Pines. I want the production to be done. I want all 6 episodes to be dropped. And then I just want to sit and just live. I won't get to, because as soon as I'm done working on Shadows, I'm going to start working on Dark Paths, which is, if you missed it from about 30 minutes ago, an audiobook that somebody's tagged me to do. I'm really looking forward to that. I love this person's writing, and it's just a treat that I get to do book number 2 in her series. So anyways, in a perfect world, I'll get to finish Shadows and just live for a little bit and just kind of see how people react to it and see how people find it and what they do with it after they find it, and then maybe have that kind of inform, do I make another limited series, and hopefully I learn some things from Shadows that I can then apply to whatever comes next. I already have. I learned that music is expensive. Art is expensive. One of the things that I'm not really priding myself on for Shadows, but really keeping at the forefront of my mind here, is community and growth and evolution, I guess. And really what that means is no fucking AI. I could go to 11 Labs and pay $20 a month to get unlimited character voices, right? That'd be lame of me because I have friends who do this, some of them for a living, that say yes to me every time I ask them to do it. I could just go to and have an AI music track be created that I can just own and loop for the entirety of the series. I could have even had ChatGPT write some of this shit, right? Or do the art, obviously. AI didn't touch a lick of this project. And that's something that I'm kind of proud of. I don't think I'm gonna use that as a promotional hook or anything. But maybe just between me and you and the people who are productionally involved. That's a word now too. Productionally involved. No AI. It's just me and some homies. We're all helping each other out. Mostly they're helping me. Get this thing that I've been talking about since December. No lie. Since December. Out of my head and on to the internet. It's a passion project. It's a love letter. It's whatever you want to call it. It's cool that I get to use real talented people who are very good at what they do to have them be a part of this, right? That's one of the things that I'm most stoked on. Greg says another limited series, please, but wait till next year. Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to. Right now, there's no reason not to, other than it just takes a long time. Going back to editing, everyone be cool for a minute. But of course, ask me questions in the chat, say something, whatever. I'll react to it. I wonder. I need to learn how to send the sounds from my recording software to my streaming software. Output. trying a couple of things just to test. Trying a couple of things just to test. Okay, well that obviously didn't fucking work. Cool. Output. Output. Hmm? Yeah, fuck it. I can't figure it out. I was trying to find a way to like send like so that way you guys just aren't like chilling with the ambience going, which is cool, I guess. But and then like me talking every 5 minutes, answering a question. But I will figure that out another time. With regards to AI and narration, does the name Quinn mean anything to you? No. No? Should it? Should it? Should it? Should it mean something to me? I did just have a guy. Oh, this is so silly, dude. He calls. I don't know if I want to call him out like this, but have a good night, Christine. So glad you came through and stayed for a long time too. Thank you so much. Hope you have a good night. No, I don't. I don't know anybody named Quinn. I hear these stupid AI narrated ads with a loser MC named Quinn all the damn time. No, is that the voice that like every ad is using though? He's like he sounds like a cool fucking like a cool black dude who's like, yo, this is what I think about this. I can't do it, of course, but no, I don't know any of the AI voices' names or where they come from or whatever. I do recognize that same one though. That's for sure. Gray. Who is Gray? Oh yeah, Booze is Gray. Hell yeah, brother. Also, I will say it's super dope. Yeah, surprise, I'm still here. It is super dope having the writer who wrote this story, not with me, but pretty much for me. Like, honestly, like I told him like the gist and I told him the points that I want to hit. But the writer is voicing a character in the story as well. So it's so cool being able to hear, his vision of something. Because oftentimes a lot of things kind of get lost in translation. Or, for example, I'll send lines to a homie, and I don't expect them to read the entire story. That would be silly, right? Of course, if they do, great, they get it. But that's, oh my god, dude, it's 100 pages, man. So no, I don't expect them to read that. But that means there might be some context kind of lost if they don't at least read the page before and the page after their lines. Then they may not know exactly which tone to use, other than just me saying, hey, in this scene, the context is you're running from a threat, and you finally catch some distance, and then so like you're kind of hunched over and you're breathing really hard, and you're trying to game plan, right? That's kind of the context that I'll give to them for each given scenario. And of course, if they read a little bit before and after, they kind of know even more, right? And that informs the way they record the line. But what I'm getting at is having the writer voice a character. It's like you get to hear his vision come to life. And I'm sure it's probably a treat for him too. He's a good voice actor, and he's got his own channel, Dr. Plague. And what a treat that is, dude, And if I could be honest with you, his voice acting is some of the most, what's the phrase? When you really chew on a scene. I don't know. If you've never been into like an acting class or an acting audition or whatever, you might not have ever heard that phrase before, but when you really chew on a scene, it really kind of just drags. It doesn't drag it out for the sake of adding length to it, but it really just cements you in that moment that the people in the story are living through. They're really chewing on that scene. I don't know. That's the only kind of way I can explain it. Anyway, it's just what a cool little thing for me to get to hear exactly what the writer wants me to hear because he's voicing it. I like that. Sky Gary. The other day, Booze and Booze went live, and so I pulled it up on my phone so I can like interact and just chat, just be part of the chat for a minute. And then my oldest son was like, hey, is that you? He thought Booze was me. That's how alike we kind of sound sometimes, is that even my own kid is like, was that you? After just hearing like half of a sentence of Booze speaking kind of from my phone from the other side of the room, he goes, is that you, Dad? So I think one of the things that I learned that I kind of wish I didn't learn is that having people that kind of sound alike on the same production, that might confuse some people who like aren't intimately aware of how I sound and or aware of how Booze sounds. We do sound very similar. So when the part of the story comes up to where it's me narrating and then Booze delivering lines, there's not that much of a stark contrast between those specific voices. Also, this was just kind of a weird coincidence that I never thought about until I was editing the dialogue. Horror on the Rocks and As the Raven Dreams sound a lot alike as well. And there's a couple of points in this story where those two characters that they play are talking to one another. So I may have to just make it a point to specifically find voice actors that do not sound like other people in the production, which sucks. Which for me, selfishly, because that means I can't. Does that mean I just can't have Booze on my next production? If I bring on Raven, does that mean I can't have Rocky, or vice versa? I don't know. Just stupid little things I have to think about. One of Dexter's writers is sending him voice lines with WMA files. Hell yeah. Okay. Oh, I was in a pinch. I was in such a pinch the other day, dude. I want to start, if there's like a female like a super quick female line in a story that I'm just happening across on the Glitch in the Matrix side, I want to be able to like hit up some female narrators, or even my wife if she's available. Hold on a sec. Alright, how come nobody told me I sound like a robot? What the fuck? How come nobody said I sound like a robot? Where are you guys? Okay, here we go. I think that's better. I hope that's better. Please let me know if the echo is gone. I didn't know it was there for like the last 10 minutes or more. Thank you. 10 minutes too late, Dexter. God, love you, buddy. Oh yeah, where was I? So I like Instagram messaged my wife. She's at work, and I'm like, hey, are you available just to like record a voice memo for me? Like even on the phone is fine. Like I would take it from the phone because I can kind of edit it to make it sound the way I kind of want it to sound. And so she did. She goes to like the break room and she like records the line for me, and that was so freaking cool, dude. I love that. So. What was the point of that? Yeah, even stuff recorded on phones, if it works, if it works, it works. What's the phrase? If it's stupid but it works, then it's not stupid. I like that one. Sam says, during that live stream with you and Rocky and Jam and Booze, she says, I didn't know any of you guys except Booze at the time, and I had a little trouble deciphering between the two of you, meaning me and Booze. Yeah, I get that. I talk to Booze every single day. He's special. He's a cool dude. And some days, maybe not. Some days it's just like I'll send him like a reel, that I know he'll like, and then he'll send me one back. We have some sort of communication every single day. Most days we're like having a conversation in DMs and stuff, but on the days where, it's just a slow talking day or we're busy or whatever, we still find funny shit to send each other. Yeah, he's a cool dude. Him and I had a podcast a couple of years ago at this point called the 90s Nightmares podcast, where the plan was, see here I'm talking in past tense terms, the plan was to basically just blast through Are You Afraid of the Dark one episode at a time and break it down and talk about it and rate it and just pretty much make each other laugh for 45 minutes at a time. We made it through all the way through all the way through season 1 of Are You Afraid of the Dark, and then we hit a couple of episodes in season 2. I think we even talked about Courage, and I think we had a Batman episode 2 before, like, one or both of our schedules just kind of got out of hand at the time, and we haven't been able to go back since. But anyway, we are like two ships just passing in the night. Him and I. Sam says, your voice... Eventually, I picked up that your voice is a lot more energetic. Dude, I think that's because Booze is not a night owl. So when we do those live streams, they're usually they start at 9 o'clock his time, and they'll go on until about midnight his time. So yeah, he is, and he gets up early like I do. He does it just to go, I don't know if he records in the morning, but I know he's at the gym most mornings. Early. So when we make him stay up till midnight just to do those live streams, he is dragging, dude. That's why it seems like I sound more energetic than he does, is because we're in different time zones. For one, I am an hour later than his. Anyways, so when he starts at 9, I'm starting at 8 when those live streams start. So I got an hour on him, and plus we schedule those many weeks in advance, so I have plenty of time to basically I won't wake up early that day. I'll sleep in till 7 or 8 if my kids let me. That way I can hang till midnight or 11, right? Dex says, sounds more like two ships passing in the night, but their engines burn out, so you just sit there and keep each other company. Yeah, we send each other a bunch of nostalgic bro shit all the time. The more phone conversations we have, the more it feels like we are just the same person, dude. I don't know, dude. All right, I'm editing. I'm editing again. I know I said it'd be 5 minutes like 30 minutes ago, but I just keep finding things to move and change, so it's all good. As long as you're having fun, I'm having fun. How did how did me and Booze meet? Him and I both started our channels at about the same time, give or take a few months. It's been four years now, pretty damn close. And I sent him a message. I don't know, dude. When I reach out to people, like, I don't... how do I put this? I don't like small talk. Like, I'll do it because, like, my day job requires me just to, like, have, 30-second conversations with fucking hundreds of people. But when I reach out to, like, people on my own accord, on my own time, I try to skip all that shit. So I sent Booze just a cold DM on Instagram. I said, hey, man, just want to say hey, let you know I exist. And it wasn't even like a sub count thing, because we started our channels, like I said, about the same time, and we were kind of in that same bucket of, I don't know, maybe a couple of hundred subscribers, maybe close to 1,000 at the time. We both were. Since then, he's blown the hell up, and he acts like he don't know nobody. No, not really. Stoked for him. I hit him up. I was like, hey, dude, I know you exist, and I want you to know that I exist. And what are your goals? What's your philosophy on YouTube? And he responded to that, in a way that I liked. He wasn't weirded out by it, and I didn't scare him away. And he responded later that day with, oh, I'd like to grow a community and a following, and I'd like to, have a brand that people can trust and rely on, and hopefully turn this into like a full-time thing, when the time is right. I was like, cool. Fucking me too, dude. Hell yeah. Me too. All those things, me too. And ever since then, we've just been able to be like completely open and honest with each other. And if one of us puts out a video that has like an error in it, or if it flops, or if we have, ideas for second channels, or third, or fourth, or fifth channels, we'll go to each other and we'll be like, hey, do you think this will be well received? And then we'll tweak ideas together. And most of the time, well, half of the time, they're not even scary story related. They're not even horror related. Because, narrators are like ogres. Or onions. What's the line? Like onions. So because I hit him with such a direct question, and because he was able to respond with a thoughtful answer, for one, that was dope. And for two, I agreed and could align myself with everything he was saying. That was also dope. So we clicked right away. We clicked right away. And then a couple months later, maybe a year later, we got the opportunity to talk about starting something together, because we didn't like collaborations. We'll still do collaborations with other narrators because we're friends or because we just like working with each other because it's easy. But we quickly realized, hey, collaborations they don't grow your channel. And it just feels and that's not the sole purpose of doing them, obviously. It's to network and make friends and build relationships with other people doing what you're doing. That's cool. That's the cool shit. And if, your audience grows because you were on another channel, that's even better. That's super duper cool. Well, that's gravy. We'll take that. Excuse you. But, that aside, it just started to feel very transactional. And there was it was like shallow, Because you could hit up a narrator and be like, hey, dude, I'm doing a video about, people walking home alone at night and something scary happens. Can you send me something? And it's like, yeah, man, for sure. I'd love to. I'd love to be on your channel, blah, blah, blah. Whether you're bigger or smaller than them, kind of doesn't matter, I don't think, as much as people think it does. But anyways, you send that email. You're like, hey, man, do you want to do this with me? And then you get the email back that's like, yeah, of course. And then you get the email from them a few days later with the audio that they recorded just for you. And you say, okay, thanks. The video will go up tomorrow night. And that's it. Like, that's it. You guys don't become besties after that. There is no follow-up unless you actually take the time to follow up, and I don't know. So because we realized kind of at the same time that collaborations felt shallow, they felt transactional, oftentimes the audience that gets to hear that new voice on a channel, they don't often love that because they know there's dozens, hundreds of narrators. And at the time, none of them were AI. None of them were AI that we know of. But they know that they have their pick. But they're choosing to spend their time with you and your voice for 45 minutes to an hour to 3 hours sometimes. And when they get shown this other voice, this other unfamiliar voice that they didn't know to expect, a lot of the times they're turned off. They're like, ugh, I didn't like that other person's voice. It just doesn't do it for me. So most of the time, that was the audience reaction. Of course, sometimes you hope for them to be like, oh man, your guest narrator that you featured on your episode tonight was actually very cool. I subscribe to them too. It's kind of what you're hoping for, but it doesn't go that way. The good old days. All right, editing until somebody has a question. Dex says, I sort of started my channel as a collage-based endeavor from the beginning. What does that mean? Like you wanted it to feature multiple voices kind of regularly? So that's a cool idea. Also, Gemini has one line. In this entire 6-part series that's going to span at least 3 hours, Gemini reads, has one line. Oh, what the hell was that? Who is this? Electric Indigo has subscribed. Thanks, dude. Welcome. Happy you're here. Hopefully you stick around for a little bit. Dex says, yeah, started pulling in guest VAs right in the second story. I don't have shit and growth to show for it, but I enjoy it more. Yeah, it's cool, man. It is purely a networking, making friends, very internal, very selfish kind of a thing to do. You know? And maybe the growth thing that you feel like you're missing on comes from just inconsistency. I haven't looked at your channel very often, but I know there was a time where it was like a couple weeks or a couple months without any content. But for some reason, dude, when you post like those one videos every month or two or whatever, they're dope. They're so good. And they do really well. I like them at least. Becoming besties is such a great outcome. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Again, I don't want to fucking glaze booze all night, but it's like anytime one of us says something, the other one is just instantly like, oh my God, me too. I've been thinking the same thing. Me too. And it's weird how often that happens. Even when we're talking about the state of the genre, you know, where it's been, where it's at now, where it's going, you know, what do we think about true crime? Do we think we might enjoy making true crime content? Whatever it is. Even, like I said, even stuff that's not scary related. We both just seem to be into the same thing at the same time. Same goes with me and Danny Dreadful. I messaged Danny early on. Her and I, we started our channels at about the same time too. And when you start your narration channel, you sometimes you get there's this very small circle of people that just really like to trade collaborations. And that's how they meet other narrators. It's pretty cool. It's a cool way to make friends and to be introduced to other narrators, because they're a small group of people that, you know, stay on top of each other and like introducing new people to their group or whatever. So I saw Danny kind of making the rounds and being featured, and her voice is amazing, and she's doing the thing. And I sent her a DM on Instagram too. I was like, hey, just want you to know, I like the way you tell stories. I want you to know I exist. You and I are probably going to collaborate eventually. I just want to say hi now. And she was like, yeah, cool. Great. She took that also very, very well. So that was nice. She wasn't like, who's this dude? Randomly messaging me that we're just bound to collab one day. Ugh, it wasn't that. She knew how I meant it, thankfully. And then I think, oh gosh, that might have been like, now that I think about it, September? Maybe late September, because just a few days after that, her and I decided that we were running out of time to do a Halloween collab. So we went from me going, hey, we're going to collab eventually, because that's just kind of what we're doing right now. Just wanted to say, hey. We went from that to a couple days later going, oh no, can you send me a Halloween story tomorrow? So that you can be in this collab as well? So that was cool. And again, that was 4-ish years ago, and her and I chat all the time still too. Oh, I'm tired, dude. Let's see, what color? What color is Gemini? Salmon? Like a salmon color? Dude, you found your platonic soulmate. For sure. Is that Booze or Danny? I trailed off on both of them for a little bit. Green. Who is... Okay, that would be the director. Both, I guess, but I sent it when you were talking about Booze. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I talk to Danny probably almost every day too, but I don't know. People get weird when they just start like assuming things when like a woman is involved. I don't know, dude. She's just dope. Her and I both tell scary stories on the internet. We both like enjoy working out. We both have at least one kid. Both happily married. I don't know, dude. People. Yeah. She's dope. The Rain Man. Hey guys, greetings, fellow scare enthusiasts. What's up, Rain Man? Tell me about yourself, man. What do you do? Do you make it rain? You're catching me towards the end of my stream. This is when like it's really chill and I kind of go radio silent for a couple minutes just to edit some things that I just recorded. But of course, if anybody has questions or wants to add anything, I will reply. The Rain Man says, I am a baker and I enjoy the rain. Me too, man. I'm going to change my name to just like something that I enjoy. I am changing my name to the Oreo Man. I don't make Oreos. I don't sell them. I just like them. Oh, Rain's helped you get coffee before? Heck yeah. Does he like donate to the Patreon or the Ko-Fi or whatever? That's dope, man. I forget that I have a Patreon sometimes. Not sometimes, all the time. That thing does not exist to me. I will upload early content to YouTube. I will upload, early content to the podcast side of things. But god dang, dude, Patreon gets no love from me. And I have people over there. I think most of them are like free subscribers, which I don't know. I didn't know that was a thing that I made available, so at least most of them aren't paying for anything. I don't know. Oh, the Oreo-man. That's good. Hey now, the Rain Man sent out 1 gift membership. That's tight, dude. Somebody named Yumira. Yumira? Cool. That's awesome. Good stuff. Thanks, Rain Man. Dude, Sean. Good catch, Yumira. Hey, Sean. Get some sleep, my brother. All good, dude. All good. Literally, I've been saying 5 minutes the stream will end for like the last 30 minutes. I promise it will. So yeah, it's at the end of the show now, brother, but it's all good. I just recorded part 4 of Shadows in the Pines. My voice is gone, and now I'm editing. It's been an hour. I know, dude, I know. Chill. Don't call me out like that. Rude. So, the way Joel records his lines, I'm editing those into the story right now. I'm just doing like extra shit now. But the way Let's Read Joel like recorded his lines, he doesn't do it. It's like he's doing it in real time. Probably because it's easier for him and it's just faster for him to talk himself through the takes and like point out his mistakes than it is to do all of that anyway and then edit all of them out. So as I'm like editing Joel's dialogue into the story, I'll get to hear him fuck up a line and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, Derek. I think I read that wrong. Let me try that again." And then he'll like do the line again. Whereas most people would just edit that out. They would edit out the bad take and just give me the good one. But him, obviously, probably busy, probably has other shit going on. It's just faster for him just to do it in one go, or if he fucks up, not edit out the fuck up, but just do it right the second time and just give me that. That's faster for him. That's so funny. But I get to like hear these little Joel-isms as I'm editing his dialogue, and it's just funny. Oh, damn, Sean. That's bad news, brother. Cancer's back. I'll be spending all day and immunotherapy. All right, brother. Hey, listen, I told you the first time. All right, man. If anybody is fucking strong enough and deserving enough to come through this on the other side, no sweat, it's Sean. It's you, dude. And you've done it once already, right? Second time, no sweat. Wishing you the best. Jeremiah, welcome. Thank you for clicking subscribe. Big Sean, if you're still here, Shadows in the Pines, I think the final, the produced episodes, the final versions of the episodes will probably, hopefully start dropping end of May? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I got end of May, I think sounds realistic. I'm all out of water. I'm back to editing Joel's things, and he's so funny. He'll give me like the good take of the line, and then I can hear him reading the lines between his next line. So he'll read like, oh man, it's like the kid that's like in class reading to himself. Oh, it's so funny. Let me see. He'll go, I think it's time that I set a new master blade. And then this person does this thing, and then you go, mind how you speak to me, Derek. It's just, hearing him do that in real time is so funny. Oh, love it. Sam says, I'd love to hear that. I don't know, dude. No, I think that one's just going to be for me. That one's just for me. I don't think he would appreciate me sharing, his method and his raw thoughts and his raw takes in the moment with people. He would probably think that would be uncool of me. So, out of respect for his privacy and the way he likes to do things, I don't think I'll do that. Hope you understand. Thanks, Sam. It is entertaining. Thanks, Sean. Dex says, well, shoot, better stop letting the dishes soak and actually do them. Damn, it's 1 in the morning. All right. I gotta cut this for real, homies, and I mean it this time. Nobody distract me with any tangents either. Alright, I'll finish editing part 4. Maybe why the fuck did I move my mic? Maybe tomorrow or the next day, or the next day, or the next day, or maybe even the next day. I don't know. We'll see. I don't understand the question, Rayman. You talking to me? What's my own personal work that I have done this far? Well, I was born in December of 1989. I was born on a Monday at about 3:14 in the morning, believe it or not. And no, I'm just fucking. All right, no, I gotta go. If you catch me in the next one, maybe you can let me know what you mean by that, if you are even talking to me. But seriously, everyone, have a good night. Thank you for hanging out for as long as you did. This has been really fun. There are only 2 more parts left of Shadows in the Pines. I cannot believe it. Shit. Okay. Bye-bye. So long. Good night. Bye-bye. See ya. Adios. Bye.